North Texas. Welcome to the Fan Sports Show.
If we are to win this game, it's going to be earned, would be the adjective that I would use.
I think they've done a great job of compartmentalizing. I was worried I was going to mess that word up, but they've done well. They've done well with that.
There's going to be one winner, and there's going to be one that's going to be totally disappointed. And my thoughts go to that one that will not experience the thrill of victory.
One team will experience that thrill of victory on Sunday in New Orleans, although just about any day you're in New Orleans is pretty victorious in my mind. Hello, happy Thursday, and welcome to the Fan Sports Show, live from Boomerjacks in South Arlington at the Arlington Highlands. We are going to be here for the next 60 minutes right here on TXA 21. I am Gina Miller, and I am not alone tonight. Marcus Spears will join me in just a moment. He's getting mic'd up right now. We're going to get his opinion on the state of the Dallas Cowboys, where this team is headed, what the future holds for him, and we're also going to give you the opportunity to ask Marcus any question you like with our very own segment called what else? Hashtag Ask Marcus. You can send us your questions for him on Twitter. Babe Laufenberg is also standing by to join us live in New Orleans. He finally made his way to the Super Bowl, and he'll tell us all about his adventure getting there. We'll relive that just a little bit. Plus, he'll give us his perspective on this matchup and the way the Cowboys are being perceived down in New Orleans as well. And Nelson Cruz, the Rangers outfielder, has finally delivered some sort of a response, not necessarily his own words, but through an attorney. We do have his reaction to the allegations that he did purchase products from an anti-aging clinic in Miami. But we begin tonight looking at what's going on in the Crescent City. Super Bowl 47 is going to happen this Sunday in one of my favorite cities in the world. And New Orleans is expecting 150,000 tourists for the big game. Millions more are expected to watch the matchup between San Francisco and Baltimore on CBS. Now, the Ravens have been the upset darlings, winning every playoff game this postseason, despite being the underdog and despite losing 4 out of their last 5 regular season games. The 49ers, meanwhile, are looking for their first Lombardi trophy since 1994. They're currently tied with the Dallas Cowboys for second place with 5 championships. Baltimore, interestingly, is 3-0 since 2001 against the San Francisco 49ers. So what do you think about this game? Well, let's go to someone who's actually on the ground in New Orleans covering it. Babe Laufenberg. It took him a while to get there, but he finally found his way to Louisiana, to New Orleans. He's right there on the river and joins us now live. Babe, good to see you on the ground in New Orleans finally.
It's good to be here too, Gina. And I had to set the record straight earlier on CBS 11. There was some misinformation that we got lost. But Chris Bullock, our producer, and Bill Ellis, our photojournalist, we were having such a good time in the car. We said, let's just spin through Arkansas. We did not want it to end. It was like a Griswold family vacation.
Keep telling your boss that, babe. Yeah, keep telling Adrian that. See how it works.
Yeah, when she sees expense reports coming in from Arkansas, she said, what the heck were you guys doing in Arkansas? All right. Hey, well, we are here, obviously, in New Orleans. We did make it, and there's a little Cowboys history here, as you might suspect. Troy Aikman made his first NFL start in the Superdome right behind me. That was in 1989, a 28-0 loss. He had better days after that one, of course. And Roger Staubach had a couple of good days, too. He won his 2 Super Bowls here in New Orleans, one at Tulane Stadium and one here at the Superdome. All right, we all know the Cowboys had a change of philosophy on defense, switching from the 3-4 to the 4-3. That meant Monty Kiffin was brought in as their new defensive coordinator. Now, he was a man who held the same position for Tony Dungy when Dungy was the head coach in Tampa Bay. And today, Dungy gave him high marks for his work.
He'll do a great job for them, and offensively, they're in good shape. Defensively, it's going to be different for a lot of those guys, but it reminds me of when we went to Tampa in '96 and putting it together with a lot of the puzzle pieces there. Now it's just kind of that master painter putting it all together.
I like it. Monty Kiffin referred to as the master painter. And Gina Miller, we're going to hear from DeMarcus Ware a little bit later here, but DeMarcus was down here. He, of course, recovering from shoulder surgery, but he actually likes the idea of the 4-3 because he said he won't have to drop into coverage anymore.
And he likes the fact the Cowboys can be a little bit more aggressive as well. We're going to discuss DeMarcus's comments as well. Now, you got a chance to talk to Tony Dungy, a Super Bowl winning coach, a man who has had a lot of success professionally, babe, and you've covered a ton of Super Bowls. You know so many people in the NFL who have had success and some who haven't had that much success as well. Is there a trend, as you know these people and talk to these people, among the men who are more successful in these big game situations? Is there a characteristic that seems to emerge?
To me, that's a very good question, Gina, and I've always said the key to coaching, and I don't care what you're coaching or teaching or as a business leader, is to get your people to buy into what you're selling. So to me, that's where the crux of this thing is going to be. If Monty Kiffin can get his players to buy in to what he's selling, then they're going to have success. I really believe that. But if there's half of them that are on the fence, you just don't get the job done that way. I've always liked the Casey Stengel line, Gina. He once said about his players, he said, you got 25 ball players on a team. He said 10 like you, 10 hate you, and 5 are undecided. He said the whole key to managing is to keep the 5 that are undecided away from the 10 that hate you. And so that's what it is with coaching.
That's it. That's perfect. And it sounds like good rational way of thinking. We'll hear more from you a little bit later in the show. Thank you, babe. Don't have too much fun down there in New Orleans. I am joined now by a Louisiana original. He has played 8 years in the NFL for a number of different Cowboys coaches and defensive coordinators. He's joining me now here for the entire hour on the Fan Sports Show. Of course, I'm talking about Marcus Spears from the Dallas Cowboys. Hello.
I am so happy to be here again.
We're happy to have you here again. You joined us before the season. Now, I have to ask you, you are a Baton Rouge native. You know Louisiana well. Why aren't you down there in your home state at the Super Bowl?
I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay, okay.
I had to give everybody a chance to make themselves at home and enjoy that New Orleans hospitality. And when I get down there, I'm going to take full advantage of it.
Now, we know it's a lot of fun down there in New Orleans, and you're going to have some fun and do a lot of things, but is there a bittersweetness about going down there? Because each and every year for the Dallas Cowboys, the goal is to get to the Super Bowl, because that's what Jerry Jones says.
Absolutely. I think anytime you go around the festivities and you see the time that those guys are having as far as playing in the biggest game that you could possibly play in a professional career, I think it does get a little challenging for the guys that's not playing. But I'm going to go down. It's home for me. So I got a lot of people that I love down there. I'm going to go down, enjoy myself, eat real good, and then come back and try to burn it off.
I like the eating part. We're going to talk about the eating part coming up a little bit later in the show. Lots more still ahead with Marcus Spears here on the Fan Sports Show. What does he think about Monty Kiffin coming to Dallas? We'll get his opinion on that. And the 3-4 that's now a 4-3 defense that the Cowboys will be running. He's tackling everything from the Cowboys to the state of the sports scene here in Texas. But first, we always want you to participate in our show. You can tweet us using the hashtag TXA21Fan. You can also send your questions in for Marcus. Are you ready for this? People are going to ask you questions off of Twitter. Send us your Twitter questions. The Fan Sports Show live from Boomerjacks continues right after this.